Hey peeps, we are back. We are talking You, Me, and My Ex, Season 1, Episode 8. Before we get into the video, please do me the honors of subscribing to my channel, hitting the notification bell so you can always be notified when I post new content, hitting the thumbs up because that does wonders for my channel, and share. Thanks. So this episode starts out with Wendy, Jimmy, Lisa, and Jack. Starts off right where we left off. They were giving Jimmy some time to cool down. So Dominic and Lisa stayed and they continued their conversation a little bit. And Dominic tells his mom, he says, listen, if you telling me the details of why you got a divorce is going to upset him so much, it's really not that important. You guys don't have to tell me. And that's pretty much what I said last video. He doesn't seem as if he absolutely needs to know. He seems pretty okay with just realizing that, you know, they divorced. They divorced before he was even 2 years old. So he doesn't remember a time when they were married. So I don't think that it was necessary to stress everybody out and create such a big deal about Jimmy cheating and the cause of that divorce. Jimmy does settle down enough to come back, and he explained to Dominic that the reason he and Lisa divorced was because he had cheated on her, and nobody was surprised. I wasn't surprised, you know, but he did leave a big part out. And I think that this is the part that Lisa wanted to say, and Jimmy was not ready to have Dominic find that part out. So it turns out when he cheated on Lisa, Lisa was 6 months pregnant, and she heard a voicemail on his phone on Valentine's Day from his girlfriend, the lady that he was cheating on her with. With her being so upset and 6 months pregnant, she actually fell to the floor in hysterics. And due to all of the stress, she ended up having to be rushed to the hospital, and an emergency C-section needed to be performed in order to save the baby. So when she's telling this story, the producers asked Jack, how did he feel the first time he heard about this? And he tells them that this is the first time that he's ever heard about it right then. And he gets extremely upset. He starts crying and he walks off. So she goes after him to check on him to see how he's doing. That is terrible. I felt really bad for Jack just now hearing that, but I also felt terrible for Lisa. Here she was 6 months pregnant and she found out that Jimmy was cheating on her, which leads her to have an emergency C-section, and it could have caused them to lose their beautiful son. So I can understand her having a complete attitude with Jimmy. However, Dominic is 21 now, and I think it's time for her to start healing, to start trying to forgive Jimmy and move past this. They seem to get along really well. They're doing all of that inappropriate flirting. So somewhere inside, she has to have forgiven Jimmy by now.
Is that we actually got married 8 years ago?
No, you're not married 8 years, are you?
Yeah.
You're married 8 years?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Wow. If I were Jack, I would not be cool with someone calling me their fiance for 8 years when we've been married.
So that was just really odd for me. It really was. This man has been married to her for 8 years, and he has been willing to take the back seat and continue to pretend as if he is her fiance. Just because she said that she didn't want to upset or hurt Jimmy the way she was upset when he married Wendy. Oh, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. We don't care about Jimmy. Jack is your husband. You should put Jack's feelings ahead of Jimmy. Are you kidding me? As your husband, Jack's feelings should come first. This whole situation is ridiculous to me. It really is. Even Jimmy says, I don't understand why Jack is okay with pretending to be her fiance for 8 years. You've been married to this woman for 8 years secretly. No. He is out here being introduced to the world as her fiance, and he's actually her husband. Dominic says that it feels like Jack and his mom has been married for years anyway. So the fact that they're actually married now, he's not upset about it at all. He is a little bit shocked that she was able to hold that secret for 8 years. I tell you what, if Jack and Wendy don't realize that there is something not right, I don't know what's wrong with them, but I'm not going to feel sorry for them. I'm sorry. That is ridiculous. So we move on to Carolyn, Alex, and Steven. So Alex is ready to propose. I mean, Alex is geared up to propose. He is crying. He is nervous. He is scared. I said, Lord, he's probably sweating in the armpits, because you know when he gets nervous and scared, he starts to sweat. He has planned to ask Carolyn to marry him, and he's going to surprise her by asking her to go cat shopping with him. She was acting as if she was super excited about going cat shopping and getting this new cat, but she says she wasn't really too excited about getting a new cat, because she says nothing says commitment like getting a second cat. However, they get to this place and there's so many cute little kittens. Alex puts a little bandana around one of the little kittens' neck that says, "Will you marry me, Caroline?" It was super adorable.
Me has not been easy or a lot. Will you marry me?
Yes. There's not a single part of me that doesn't want to marry you.
Now there you go. They are happy. She is happy. For a second, her look on her face made me think, something isn't right. Did she just step on a cat? You know, what is going on? But she said yes. And you know what? Alex was so happy, and she is so happy, but I don't see happily ever after here. I really don't. I think that this thing between Alex and Steven is not over. It isn't. And I don't want Caroline hurt. I am wishing for the very best for them, though. Alex did mention he's told his entire family, except for one person, that he was going to be asking her to marry him that day. And now he just has to tell Steven. And the look on his face did not look as if he was really happy to tell Steven. And I don't think Steven is going to be happy either, especially the way he acted last episode. I'm telling you, my heart is going out to Steven. I am wishing nothing but the best for Steven. I'm hoping that Steven's able to move on and find a love of his own. And I'm hoping that Alex is able to remain faithful to Caroline. I'm going to keep watching. We'll see. Lauren, John, April, and Roy. So Lauren has planned a bridal shower for April. It's still crazy. I don't care what anybody says. They are playing this sex game where you ask a question and then you have to tell the truth. And it was a little awkward because April was there with her 2 daughters and her mama. And I believe her sister was there as well. You know, it was a little odd. And then, of course, there were some questions that Lauren was asked, and it was questions about John, who is now married to April, which, you know, it's a little awkward. And then I guess John at some point had a tattoo on his body of Lauren's lips. And after they got a divorce, underneath the lips, he put the kiss of death. She got her lips of his or something covered up. I mean, these people with these tattoos and these swapping relationships and hanging out being friends, it's a little odd. The only thing I can think about being close to my ex-husband's new wife is I would be close to her because she would be the stepmother to my child. So I would want to know her. You know, I want her to know that we see each other. You know what I mean? Because you better not do anything to disrespect my child, honey, or I'll be on your butt. So I would be absolutely pleasant in that way. But throwing you a shower? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Getting in the tub with you naked? No, ma'am. No friendship tattoos for us. Hey, girl. How's the kids? Okay. Do you pick up this week and I'm dropping off? You know, those kind of conversations, and that's it. April did say that she realized that it had to be hard for Lauren to throw her a bridal shower knowing that she's marrying her ex-husband. And my hat's off to Lauren. You go, girl, because no, ma'am. Daniel, Josh, Jennifer, and Chantel. So Chantel has made it to the hospital, but it turns out that she has preeclampsia. So her blood pressure has shot way up, and they have admitted her into the hospital and induced her labor. However, this lady was in labor for 2 days and she only dilated to 5 centimeters. So on the 3rd day, they ended up taking her in for a C-section. They couldn't wait any longer. They needed to get that little baby Camilla out of there, who is so cute. Oh my gosh, she's a beautiful.
That's
My goodness.
miniature Chantel right there.
Emotions are kind of flowing all over the place. I'm still in shock. I
I'm watching Jen watch over Chantel giving birth to my biological daughter, who is their child. It's it's interesting.
So what we did notice is Josh is already starting to feel connected to that baby. So even though they're at the hospital and it can only be Jennifer and Chantel, Josh has been keeping posted through FaceTime, through text messages and phone calls with Jennifer and pictures. And you could just tell he is connected to that tiny baby Camilla already. They have no paperwork and they have told him that he cannot be the baby's father. This is going to come back to bite them in the butt. They end up being at the hospital for 5 days and thinking that they were about to leave, when it turns out that the baby has been diagnosed with something called coronas. It's a bilirubin or something. I am absolutely positive that I'm saying that wrong, but I hope you understand what I mean. The whites of the baby's eyes were turning yellow and so was her skin. So they had to keep her at the hospital in the NICU, and she has to be under some sort of vibrant blue lights that will help her get her color back and help heal this bilirubin. I'm not saying that right. Josh's wife Danielle said that their daughter also had something almost just like that, and they had to stay at the hospital with their baby in the NICU as well. So this could be something that may have to do with Josh's side of the family. Who knows? But Jen, Danielle, and Josh were extremely supportive to Chantel, and all of them, of course, are extremely worried about baby Camilla. I am wishing nothing but the best for this baby and their whole family, actually. I just think that I see problems arising in the future. They needed to have some sort of agreement and plan, and there is no way that this man is not going to give full-on love to that baby and want her to call him dad. I'm just saying. Moving on. Kay, Jerry, and Jessica. Okay, so Jerry says that he still wants to give his relationship with Kay a chance, but Jessica is his best friend and he really needs her around for his recovery, and that it has been wonderful having her in the house this whole time. So now he's headed over to the cabin because he wants to see Kay. He shows up with all of these balloons and a big edible arrangement, and he's knocking on the door. He's trying to call Kay. He's screaming her name. He's got production calling Kay, and there is no answer. Production tries to call several times. They are not getting an answer. Then finally, at the very end of the show, she replies back. She calls the producer back, and the producer says, well, where are you? Jerry is here. And she says, you know, Jerry didn't care about my feelings. He wasn't thinking about me. And the more I had the opportunity to sit in the cabin alone and think about it, I don't appreciate it. I don't like it. So I left. Now, honey, she done came up out of their quarantine bubble. So, of course, you know, Jerry says that if she leaves, he can't spend time with her due to his pre-existing conditions. So I was actually happy to see that she left. I would like to see Kay back at home with her parents, getting a little more growth and development in her maturity level, and hoping nothing but the best for Kay in the future. I'm hoping that she meets an amazing guy, someone who loves her so much and only her. Kay, you're not ready for all of this extra with Jerry. And Jerry, to me, in my opinion, he's just using her for the sex. He loves the fact that he's got this younger, beautiful girl who is super sexy, who is willing to do anything for him. And I'm just not sure if he's willing to do anything for her. So as far as I'm concerned, go on about your business, Jerry. He can just go on back to Jessica. Ooh, I really didn't like that Jessica at all. But we'll see what happens in the next episode. You guys get down in the comments. Let me know, what did you think of this episode? And until next time, bye.